Hello YouTube and welcome to today's Elder Scrolls lore video. Today we're covering the Penitus Oculatus, the Empire's secretive secret service. I made a video about this topic some years ago, but unfortunately that one is both outdated and quite hard to watch due to bad narration. So today we'll talk about them again, with both new information and the old information that we have. Enjoy! So, once again we're talking about the Penitus Oculatus. And fortunately a lot of the information of the original video is still good, so we can build upon it with new information. So, let's start at the beginning. Most people will likely only know the Penitus Oculatus from the Dark Brotherhood questline in Skyrim. There these agents fulfill the role of the Emperor's bodyguards in his security detail. In Skyrim their role doesn't really get any bigger than that, but if one delves into the Elder Scrolls novels and a little bit of the Elder Scrolls legends, we can actually learn quite a bit more about the organization, so most of the information in this video comes from those places. That said, the main purpose of the Penitus Oculatus is serving as a replacement organization for the Blades, and this is because the Blades have always been first and foremost servants of the Dragonborn, and thus when the Dragonborn Septim dynasty was in power, then they served the Empire, because the Septims were Dragonborn and they were in charge of the Empire. But once the Mede Emperors, non-Dragonborn Emperors, came to power, they stopped answering to the Imperial government. During the days of the Dragonborn Emperors, the Blades have always served as the Emperor's protectors, his personal intelligence service, elite soldiers and direct confidants. For the new Mede Emperors, who were not Dragonborn, these services all suddenly fell away, so a new organization was needed. This is why the first Mede Emperor, Titus Mede I, established a whole new organization for all these purposes just after he had reconquered most of Tamriel, after the fall of the Septim Empire. This organization would become the Penitus Oculatus. Now, the members of this organization are first and foremost loyal to the Emperor personally, and second to the Imperial family. They are not like the Blades, who are followers of something like a Dragonborn or that they work for the Empire. No, they are specifically loyal to the Mede family and specifically to the Emperor. And with that loyalty comes great trust from the Emperor, who allocates many resources to them, because of which the Penitus Oculatus have been able to build extensive facilities with armories, prisons, interrogation rooms and a lot of outposts all across Tamriel, and even their own highly secret library that only their members and trusted members of the Imperial family and government can access. That library is reportedly filled with old and secret knowledge that the Penitus Oculatus had gathered from across Tamriel, and this knowledge comes from many fields like Magica and Geography. The Penitus Oculatus has, for example, collected a lot of data from Tamriel to discover where secret tunnels and cave systems are located. All of this info can all be found in that library. Now, in order for them to have such extensive resources, a great personal loyalty to the Emperor is required, and that is possible because agents for the organization are basically recruited as children at a very young age. Recruiters of the Penitus Oculatus travel the Empire to select children of all different races that show the necessary qualities, and then take them in. After their selection, they enter years of rigorous training, first presumably in combat and the basics of their job, but then at some point they differentiate themselves during their training and specialize themselves. For example, an agent in training in the guard division would get more theory and practical training on security, while someone in the foreign or domestic intelligence division would specialize themselves on subjects like the Thalmor or Encelil, or presumably by the time of Skyrim the Stormcloaks, and learn everything about those factions so that they can accurately interpret actions by those groups and know how to behave in interactions with them, and even know how to conceal themselves on, for example, a spy mission. After their years of rigorous training are complete, the initiates finish their lengthy training with a solo assignment, a mission to show their skill and dedication to the Emperor and the Empire. For example, in the Elder Scrolls novels we find a recruit named Colin who had been trained to become an inspector, who is someone investigating potential threats and taking care of them on solo missions. The final assignment of his training is to silently take someone out, a name he'd been given by the Penitus Oculatus leadership, whom he knows nothing about. His accomplishing of this task is supposed to show his effectiveness and blind loyalty to the Emperor. For this task he had to locate this man using his name and description, learn his patterns so that he'd know when and where he would be, at what given time, and then be sure to assassinate him quietly. Presumably this works the same for other divisions of the Penitus Oculatus, for example guarding and security, domestic intelligence, counterintelligence or foreign intelligence would all get final tasks of their training that would pertain to what they would be doing on later as an agent. Once in the organization, there are several different ranks that one can obtain. The ones that we know of for sure are, for example, Intendant, who is someone that gives agents their assignments and recruits new members. And we know of Administrator, who is someone who serves higher in the organization and decides which agents and which divisions get which assignments. So they give the assignments to the Intendants and the Intendants then give it to the agents. Like you may have pieced together by now, the Penitus Oculatus are far from the simple bodyguards that we see in Skyrim. They're essentially the CIA or KGB-like organization of the Emperor. While other than guarding him and his family, they carry out the Emperor's dirty work that never really sees the sunlight and do it all in secret, be it domestic or abroad. We know that the Penitus Oculatus has been used to spy on the Altmerry Dominion, both inside and outside their own borders, being able to find domestic Thalmor spy nests using counterintelligence tactics. And they've been known of carrying out missions inside the Altmerry Dominion, such as aid the Bosmer resistance against the Thalmor in Valenwood with supplies and intelligence. They also keep tabs on those that the Emperor doesn't quite trust. For example, they've spied extensively on the brother of Titus Mede I, whom the late Emperor mistrusted. And they've also had a large hand in the fall of the Dark Brotherhood. And investigators like Colin, that we talked about earlier, have combated potential threats against the Empire, like necromancers plotting to take over large parts of Tamriel, such as a necromancer with the ambition of becoming the new King of Worms, or the new Menemarco, according to the Elder Scrolls novels. Like this, they reportedly already stopped hundreds of conspiracies against the Emperor since their inception in the early 4th era. The organization is far more shady than Skyrim really makes them out to be, where they're just basically Imperial soldiers with some higher stats. While in the official Bethesda licensed novels, they are a really extensive and efficient organization which works to keep the Emperor and his rule safe. It is probably because of this that Amand Motier in the Dark Brotherhood questline, who is the one that gives you the contract to murder the Emperor, has to work with so much careful maneuvering when plotting the Emperor's assassination, why he becomes increasingly paranoid during the story, because he knows exactly what the Penitus Oculatus is capable of. And that is basically everything we know about the Penitus Oculatus. Definitely one of my favorite factions in the Elder Scrolls universe, and one that has information on them scattered around with different sources, so a video like this is always fun to make. Anyway, if you're up for more lore, be sure to watch my video on the fall of the Dark Brotherhood, as this organization had a pretty big hand in the fall of the Dark Brotherhood, because the Penitus Oculatus are the law and the Dark Brotherhood definitely aren't. Now, before I end things, allow me to vocally mention my top Patreon supporters, Mr. Bernardo Binda, Gabriel Binda, Polarized Poutine, Tsar Mikhail, Sword of Bushido, and Mr. Christmas. These amazing people, along with all the others on screen, keep this channel alive, and for that I am very grateful. That said, I will see you all next week. Bye bye.